Hello and welcome to today's practice. My name is Jane. If you are new to the channel, hi, warm welcome. And if you're not new, thanks so much for coming back. Today's practice is a leg stretch. This one's ideal for runners, maybe if you've got tight hamstrings. So it's a fairly short one, around 10-15 minutes, all about the legs today. So hope you enjoy. Leave me a like at the end of the video if you do. Maybe consider subscribing. But we'll get started by lying on your back. So we're just going to start by lying down flat on the back. First of all, I'm going to take the knees bent with the feet on the ground. Just extending the right leg up to the ceiling first of all, making sure the lower back's pressing down into the mat. Just pointing and flexing the toes on that right leg. Maybe circling into the ankle. And then just taking the hands to the back of that right thigh and just rubbing into the muscles to warm them up. And we're going to stretch the heel up towards the ceiling. Point the toes towards your face. And just keep pointing and flexing that foot. Remember to take nice full breaths in and out through the nose. And just hold it there. Keep the heel pressing up as much as you can. Lower back pressing down into the mat. And we'll hug that knee in towards the chest. Straighten out the left leg so it comes down to meet the mat. And then we're just going to rock that leg from side to side. Just slightly working into the hip flexor. Again, this time I'm going to straighten that right leg. You might get a slight bend in the knee, or you might be able to straighten it, but don't lock the knee out completely. Again, just holding it there. You can use the hands at the back of the thigh. I'm going to push the heel upwards, flexing the foot. And then you can either stay in this position, or you can challenge yourself by taking the hands down to the mat, and then holding that leg there for a couple of breaths. We're only here for a second, and nice full breath in. Relax that knee, head bending it into the chest. Again, just rocking it from side to side. We swap legs, bring both feet back to the ground, knees bent, extending that left leg this time. Again, keep the lower back pressing down, so we're not lifting the tailbone off the mat. Pointing and flexing that left foot. You might find one leg's a lot more flexible than the other. That's usually the case. Circling into the ankle. And we'll start to rub into the left thigh. Just warming up all those muscles at the back of the leg. Pushing the heel upwards towards the ceiling. Nice full breaths. And bending the knee in towards the chest. Straightening that right leg down. I'm just going to rock that leg from side to side. And then we straighten the left leg again. Again, just keep a tiny bend to the knee, just not to do any damage to the knee joint. And then we're going to push the heel upwards. You can keep hold of that thigh. This choice is entirely yours. It's your practice. You do what feels good for you. Pushing the heel up, toes are flexed. And then maybe staying here, maybe taking the hands to the floor. Seeing if you can hold that leg in that position just for a breath or two. Stick with it, you've got this. And release, hug that knee into the chest. Again, slight rock side to side. And then we'll come up to a seated position. And before we do anything else, we're going to come into a cat and cow position just to bring a bit of movement into the spine as well. So just come onto all fours in your tabletop position. Knees below the hips, wrists below the shoulders. Make sure the hands are not too close together. Take them a little bit further away, spreading the fingers out. And we're going to go through a few breaths of cat and cow. So breathing in, dropping the belly down, lifting the gaze forward. Exhale, round through the spine, push the mat away, rounding through the upper shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale to round. Inhale, lift the tailbone high, lift the chest. Exhale to round. Just moving that with your own breath, so you can move as fast or as slow as you like. You can bring any other kind of movements in, maybe doing a little roll. So just whatever feels good for you, maybe moving from side to side. So just don't forget to play around with your cat and cow position. You can do all kinds. And then we'll come back to stillness. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, send the hips up and back to your first downward facing dog. Pedaling into the feet, just stretching through the back of those legs. Trying to push the heel down towards the mat, pushing the hands forward, creating that length down the sides of the body. I'm just going to take a few breaths in our downward dog. To come to stillness, you may want to take a bend to the knees, lifting the tailbone higher. Nice stretch through the shoulders. Look forward, we'll walk the feet up to the top. Come into your forward fold, so just take a nice generous bend to the knees, letting the upper body hang over the legs. I'm just going to sway slightly side to side in our forward fold. So grabbing hold of opposite elbows, tailbones lifting high. You've got a bend in the knees, bringing the chest down towards the thighs. Relaxing the head and the neck so that they're just loose. And take some nice big deep breaths. Slowly rolling up to a standing position. Lovely. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to bring one knee up towards the chest, keeping that nice length down the spine. So we're just going to hug the knee in, finding that standing balance. Just going to hold it there. Try and imagine something pulling you up from the crown of the head to keep the length. And we're going to slightly extend that leg out in front of us. Doesn't have to be this high, it can just be just in front of you. It can just be lifted off the floor. But we're trying to keep that position. Generally what happens is when you lift the leg, you start to lean backwards. You want to keep the core engaged, so the lower belly muscles need to start working. Even if your leg's just lifting slightly off the floor, try not to get the lean back position. Bringing the knee back in. We're going to take it behind us, coming into a high lunge. Just step back with that left leg. We're on the toes of the left leg. Right knee is bent. Might need to adjust your stance slightly. And breathe in, take the arms up. You can have the hands together, or you can have them just separated, just overhead. So that left hip's going to push forward, creating a big stretch down the front of the hip flexor. Take a big breath in. Just going to hold it for a couple of breaths. Don't hold your breath though. Breathing in and out through the nose. Exhale, we step that leg back to the top. We're going to try the other side. So lifting the right leg up. Again, to get that position, you might want to tuck the tailbone slightly under so that then your back doesn't start to lean back. So lifting that right leg. Again, you will feel, if you're doing this right, you'll feel the lower belly muscles start to turn on a little bit. So finding that balance. Again, keeping yourself nice and upright, nice tall spine. And we're going to extend the leg out in front of us. Try not to lean back as you step the leg out. And then we're going to bring it through centre, stepping it back behind. Breathe in, coming into your high lunge on this side. Lovely, nice work. Taking some full breaths. bring the hands to heart centre, step the feet back together. Lovely, we're already standing, so we're just going to bring the legs together now. So we're going to, I might need to face this way. When I catch my balance, we're going to grab hold of the outside of one foot, bring the thighs together, and then squeeze the legs together. So if you've got a wall near you, that might be handy if your balance is not amazing. So we're going to grab the outside of the foot, bring the legs together, squeeze the thighs together. So we're stretching down the front of the quads, front of the thigh. So make sure your bum's not sticking out. We want everything nice and tight going down the midline. Again, nice full breaths. If your balance isn't too bad, try to grab that foot with both hands and squeeze the shoulders back. Lovely thigh stretch and chest and shoulder stretch. Lovely, we release that side. Just going to do the opposite side. So again, grabbing hold of the outside of the foot, bringing the legs together. Again, you'll feel one leg tighter than the other. So if you just glance down, maybe when you're holding something, just check that the legs are together and then your bum's not out as well, where your chest is arching forwards. And keeping a nice tight core. And release that leg. Lovely. We're going to step back into a warrior two. So step forward with your right foot, left foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. And exhale, take the arms wide, looking over the fingers of your front hand. Taking a nice breath in. See if you can bend that little bit deeper into that front leg. We're just going to hold it for about 3 breaths. Get the legs working. Lovely. Straighten the front leg. So that front leg is straight. Dropping the front arm down. And as you breathe in, lift the back arm, coming into a triangle. Nice side stretch. But it also works the inside of this leg. You should feel a pull going down the inside. Don't forget to lift that arm up, pull the shoulder back so the chest is shining up to the ceiling. And we bring it back to centre, back to your warrior two. Lovely, windmill the arms down. Framing that right foot, spin the left toes forward, dropping that left knee back down to the mat. We're in our low lunge. Okay, so just keeping the fingertips on the floor. We're going to come onto the heel of that right foot and straighten through the leg. So in this position, we're trying to keep the back fairly straight. So if you've got blocks, it's ideal to put your blocks either side of that leg to keep the back nice and straight as you fold forward. Okay, but if you've not, you can bring the hands to the leg and then start to lean forward. We're digging the heel into the floor and feeling as if you're pulling that right hip back. So we're just going to fold in that position, taking some nice breaths. Lovely stretch for the back of the leg. Inhale, we'll come back onto the foot. We're just going to bring the hands up onto the knee. Finding that stretch going through the hip as well on the left side. As you breathe in, we'll take the arms up, finding some balance. Exhale, bring the hands back down. We'll step the knees together. We'll just step the opposite foot through. Left foot comes forward. We're back in our low lunge on the left. Okay, so the fingertips are going to frame the foot. Coming onto the heel, straightening through this leg. Again, you'll find one leg a lot different from the other. Dig that heel into the floor, pull the hip back. Again, we're trying to keep a straight back as much as you can. And we breathe and lean over that straight leg. And come back onto the foot. We bring the hands up onto the knee. And then breathing in, taking the arms up overhead. Nice low lunge position. Exhale, take the hands back down, tuck the right toes under, step the left foot back to meet the right. Just going to hold our plank position, rocking backwards and forwards. The weight of the shoulders goes past the wrists. Keep the belly squeezing in. Extend it back to your downward facing dog. This time we're going to shuffle the left foot into the centre of the mat. And as you breathe in, extend that leg behind you, the right leg. Hips are still facing the floor. Exhale, take that foot back down. Right foot comes into the centre. As you breathe in, straighten that left leg up. Make sure the hips don't tip to the side. Exhale, bring the left leg back down. We'll bend at the knees. Drop the knees to the ground. Lovely. Just bring the legs out in front. We'll straighten one leg. Sole of the foot presses into the top of that leg. And we start to fold forward. You can take a little bend in that straight knee and start to reach forward. If that's within your reach, then you can start to lower the leg down. So you've got a straight leg and you're just leaning over your straight leg. Again, we're trying to lengthen through the spine. So we're trying to not round, we're trying to not do this. We're trying to lean forward. So keep the chin up and out as you lean. Maybe taking the hands to the floor. Try to relax in that position. The muscles stretch so much better once they're relaxed. Inhale, bring yourself back up. We'll change sides. Left leg straight. Right foot pressing into the top of the left thigh. Breathing in, take the arms up. And then start to lean forward, coming over that straight leg. Again, keep the chest nice and lifted. Don't worry if you can't reach the toes. If you just keep your hands on the mat, it's about keeping the back straight as we fold forward. And release that leg. Lovely. So that's the end of the practice for today. It was only a short one, a little leg stretch. So let me know if you joined in. Let me know what you think. And thank you for joining me. I'll see you again next time. Take care.